How's lunch, everybody? How many people from Chicago? See, so a lot of visitors. Beautiful city, beautiful day, right on the river. Just gonna take a few minutes of your time. A lot of payment geeks in the crowd. And so I'm here to talk marketing and how the wallet is being used for loyalty and offers and tickets and boarding passes. Has everybody put a boarding pass in their Apple Wallet? All you iPhone owners? Yes? And at Google I/O, just 2 months back, Google announced that Android will accept boarding passes now. All right? So I think that's going to be an inflection point for Android adoption. I'm happy to share some of the numbers and results that we're seeing. But again, just here to talk about that non-payment side of Wallet, which I think there's a lot of angst over why aren't mobile payments happening as fast as they should be, quote unquote, in the US. And I think a lot of it is too much focus on transaction and not enough focus on user behavior and like getting people to adopt and realize what they can use for your wallet. If you put an offer in your wallet, you don't have to keep that coupon, keep that paper with you. There's crazy technology advantages of them being living, breathing passes. We'll use iPhone language for now. A living, breathing pass in your wallet, you can light it up when it's near a location. You can send it a reminder. You can change it, okay? So if the Labor Day sale is over, back to school sale is over, you can switch it out and say, Happy Halloween, here's your October offer. That's powerful, all right? And so the more consumers realize that powerful nature, the more they're gonna start to use Wallet for payments. I think that loyalty and marketing are the bridge to more payments. Somewhat of a biased opinion. So we like to create these mobile moments and inspire action. Just a little bit on Vibes, so you know like who's up here speaking. So Vibes is a mobile engagement platform, multi-channel, about 185 people headquartered here in Chicago. So we've got some scale. Our DNA is in messaging. So we're one of 4 tier 1 aggregators for SMS. Like any message you see routed for your bank balance, that's going through one aggregator. All the banks don't connect to Verizon's network. Companies like Vibes, we do. So we've built out a software layer on top of our infrastructure and Rails with which we do messaging volume. And that is campaign automation. So think of us very similar to like an ExactTarget does email, and they're opening up their channels. We started with messaging. Now we do push notifications to apps. We're Google and Apple's largest partner in terms of putting offers and loyalty cards into the wallet. I'll be speaking about that today. And we've got some live customers on Facebook Messenger. So, when Amazon or FedEx sends you the message that the package is on your doorstep, you might want to get that via Facebook Messenger in the future, not via text. So this messaging, there's sort of this movement back to messaging, which I'll talk about a little bit too. Again, a little over 185 employees. Down in the bottom left is what I'll be speaking about mostly today. So you can see this ramping wallet installs. Once something's installed in your wallet, it's living, breathing, dynamic. It stays there. No one deletes these passes, as you all are probably sick of the accumulating boarding passes in your wallet. But by the way, you can go into the United app or the Americans app and delete all of your old boarding passes from the app. So that's a good example of the app and the wallet working very well together. So moving on, we do this for big brands. And the relationships that we have, tomorrow afternoon, you'll hear from Jack Connors from Google. Jack's like a great partner, a great point of contact. The relationship between Vibes and Google and Apple's really shifted. They realize the value that we bring to the equation because we talk to the CMO, we talk to the VP of marketing, and we bring that consumer use case to life, which helps, as I said earlier, helps drive transactions. So I talked a little bit about this already. Wallet's about payment, but it's also about storing things like tickets and offers and boarding passes. It's very simple to organize. You can move them up and down. Google has sort of updated their UX to be very similar to the Apple Wallet product. And so you're dealing with unless you have a BlackBerry or a flip phone, you're dealing with the whole market that has the capability to do this. Apple certainly had that vertical integration advantage where Apple Wallet's a native app on every iPhone in the world. So even if, this is important, even if Apple Pay isn't accepted by banks and by credit cards in a certain country, the Apple Wallet still exists on the phone, okay? And so you can save a boarding pass, or you can save an offer, and you can save a loyalty card into that Apple Wallet, and you can be using it. So my big pitch to Apple has been, in all these countries where you haven't launched payments, you've got like consumers that can hit the ground running when you do launch payments, the more that they start to use the wallet for non-payment functionality, okay? I hope that makes sense. So we've done a lot of studies. I've got a little handout that I'll make sure gets on chairs. It's a mobile consumer report that we do every year. We've done it, I think, 4 or 5 straight years. But people want this content. You see them like cycling through these different visual examples. But just this first line here, the most desired wallet features are offers and loyalty cards. Right? And I won't bore you with a ton of data, but is there interest in saving cards to phone? Yes. And would it be more convenient than printing off something? Yes. I mean, gone are the days where you wake up on Saturday morning. Pep Boys is a great customer of ours, and they are like 100% coupon driven. Their customers were trained to wake up on Saturday morning, go to the website, print out the coupon, and bring it in. And so in a world where you're all smartphone and now you're visiting that website not from your desktop but from your mobile phone, like while you're in bed or in between cooking breakfast or whatever, like not many consumers know how to print from their phones still. It's not that hard, but most people don't do it. And so it's just, that becomes a barrier for businesses that have been so coupon-centric and coupon-oriented. And so having a place where you can click a button and simply add that into your wallet, and it's like a save for later feature, is really, really important. And we're seeing consumers want it. I think the consumer desire and the consumer behavior from the programs that we run is way ahead of where marketers are currently acting. Like still a lot of budget going into traditional media and whatnot. So a little bit on apps. Everybody, this is like not my screen, but like, you swipe through 5, 6, 7 different screens. And I think everybody in the room would say, I'm downloading fewer apps than I did, a year ago, and that's fewer than I downloaded 2 or 3 years ago. And so there's a little bit of app overload. I am a fan of apps, but again, it's for your top customers, your most engaged customers, your 10 or 15% most loyal customers. And so a little bit of the question for the CMO is, yeah, you got to have your app, but like, what are you doing about the rest of your customers? So again, our mobile consumer report has all these different reasons, like why not download an app. And the reality is, for Starbucks and your bank and your airline, the app is just gorgeous. It's beautiful. It makes your life easier. I don't need the Banana Republic app, and neither does every 16-year-old girl, right? And so if you're only going to a store, once a quarter, the utility of that app isn't really there. And it doesn't mean it shouldn't exist. I just think the CMO's job is actually more challenging today because everything's fragmented. They have to be in more places. So this is a really great visual that we created, which is higher engagement up on this chart, but reach and scale on the bottom. And so you see the little triangle at the top. The app is super engaging. You want to see the stars drop in your cup. You want to find a location. You want to pre-order. All the bells and whistles. That's great for those that use it. It's a small fraction that use it. Certainly bigger for Starbucks, and all the retailers want to be like Starbucks, but most retailers just don't have the use case or the need. Their consumers don't have the need to do those same functionality. And then email. I mean, my line on email is like, Google came out with the promotion tab, and it has been a downhill ride since. Every newsletter goes into the promotion tab. None of them get looked at. Open rates are down to 15%. Everybody uses Hotmail, Gmail, like email addresses that they're not actually checking for these types of newsletters, so they become less effective. Again, important part of the mix. You can't ignore it, but it's not going to get you ROI. And so you have to pay attention to messaging. Our rule of thumb is that your messaging database should be at least 10 to 15% the size of your email database. And if, let's say, you have 10 million people in your email database and you have 1 million in your mobile database that you can message to, you will make more money, have better ROI, have better engagement from the messaging database, like hands down. So that's our business. And messaging and wallet really go hand in hand. Think of Twitter, and every time you get a tweet, you click a link and you look at a picture or read an article. Messaging is the same. If I've signed up to be a part of the loyalty club, I'm gonna get a message with a little link, I'm gonna hit that button, and it's gonna pop an offer, and I can save that offer into my wallet, right? Now, when I redeem that in store, and just to give you some crazy numbers, we've done, lots of programs. One program with Chipotle, 5.3 million people put an offer in their phone, 3.5 million people redeemed it in store, okay, 67%. Okay, 3.5 million people is like 1% of the US population went to get a burrito. This is incredible, and marketers just don't know that the technology capabilities are here yet. So please spread the word. And then another just statistic, are people likely to save personalized mobile wallet content? This is the same question you asked year after year. You can see consumers getting more awareness. Yeah, I think I would do that. And then I talked a little bit about, by the way, I'm happy to answer a couple questions. This is only a 15-minute window here, so I'll end pretty soon and then maybe take 1 or 2 questions from the audience. Wallet is the last mile that mobile marketing has been waiting for. So I started Vibes 20 years ago, if you can believe that. And we did every kind of mobile couponing experiment known to man for a long time. Trouble reading barcodes, lasers couldn't pierce the glass before the iPhone, all sorts of issues. When Apple Wallet came out, it was called Passbook, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a standard. We're all in on this. That's proven to be a good decision, but what Wallet does is it makes all the text messaging campaigns that you run that you can actually close the loop. Because when I click on a message, when I click on a link and add something to my wallet and then redeem, and I can tell you every individual barcode of those 5.3 million unique barcodes and what store they were redeemed in, the analytics on this is very, very powerful, right? And so having that closed loop, like truly the journey, like whenever we get redemptions, we can say this person clicked on Facebook link, the link in Facebook. This person clicked on the link from the text. This person clicked on the link from email. And so we're actually testing what is the lift by channel, all right? And so this is SMS, email, and web, and there's higher conversion when you have a wallet object, as the destination, because it's going in, it's staying with them, we're dynamically updating that, and it's just a better consumer experience. So Wallet makes all these mobile engagement channels a heck of a lot better from tracking, but also just from a user experience. And hopefully that makes sense. So get your phones out. Seriously. I'm going to show you a pretty ninja capability that Apple and Google have launched, and maybe Google will talk about this tomorrow afternoon. But if you just go to this link, vibes.com/ALE, ALE stands for Automatic Loyalty Enrollment, or you can text message ALE to this number. So do either one of those. You'll have an experience, and I'll just explain this very quickly. So Apple came out with a protocol called VAS, the VAS protocol, that they'll put on the Ingenico or Verifone point-of-sale systems. And there's only about 5 to 10 retailers that have this in the US right now. But when I go to Walgreens, I can present my phone for payment, and it will instantly check and see if I've got the Walgreens loyalty card in my phone. Okay, if I do, it will transact the payment, and then it will add the points to my loyalty card. Okay, all seamless and easy. But automatic loyalty enrollment is if it doesn't detect a loyalty card, it can instantly prompt you to, would you like to join the loyalty? What a better time to ask someone if they want to be a member of the loyalty program than when they're buying something in your store. And gone are the days of filling out a form and getting misinformation and sending like a big box of handwritten crap to like a company that can't read it, right? And you get all these data entry issues. It actually pulls the data from your Me card, okay? So everybody's phone has information. If you go through this process, it'll show you. It pops it up, and as long as it's accurate, you just hit yes, and you've instantly enrolled because we're gonna put a loyalty card in your phone right there. That's really, really compelling. And again, there's only a few brands that are testing it or knowing about it, but it's an example of the non-payment side of Wallet that I think everybody in this room should know about. So that's my session. I'm doing a panel at 4 o'clock, so stick around if you're interested, and maybe time for a couple, yeah, good. So time for a couple questions. Where are we headquartered? Vibes is right here in Chicago. Yeah, we've got offices in San Francisco and Miami Beach. We just started some international. I've got a couple of individuals in the UK. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I'll repeat the question, by the way. Sure. So this is how many redemptions were tracked, like how many conversions did the email get without a wallet button and with a wallet button. And the email campaign, the emails that were sent with a wallet call to action had a 15% higher conversion or redemption, okay? So it's just lift that's created by adding a wallet. And to explain like the ease of adding a wallet button to email, it's literally just like a HTML, whatever you want it to look like. It's just giving some area in that email, in that HTML email, a button that somebody can click and then they're adding it to wallet, all right? I think, you know, a lot of the revenue from Facebook and Twitter has been cost per install, has been driving app downloads, right? And so when you think about links driving to action, I think it's a better, just on my whole sort of app theme, apps are great, but it's not going to get all your customers. How are you addressing the rest of your customers? This is a really easy way to get something into their phone, right? Establish that relationship, and it doesn't require a download, which is, you know, obviously become, you know, it's like it's a process. Even if it takes 30 seconds or a minute to go to the App Store and download an app, it's still something where you see a lot of drop-off, right? The last sort of thematic thing I'll say, just because I just thought of it, is this isn't like 100% brand new, right? So if you look at in China, WeChat is just, they're doing this. So there's a reason Facebook spent $19 billion on WhatsApp a few years ago, and it's becoming clear to more of the market, okay? Facebook could have been, you know, they sort of disintermediated themselves when they went all in on the app, sort of said goodbye to desktop. And similarly, they could see WhatsApp's momentum. Can't buy WeChat, it's owned by Tencent, you know, sort of the Google of China. And so they had to have WhatsApp. They had launched Facebook Messenger, but you know, big risk if WhatsApp has escape velocity and people just start leaving Facebook and doing everything within WhatsApp. And I do believe that the world is sort of coming back to this messaging-centric experience. So you're not going to have 15 apps to go do everything. You're just going to be doing conversational marketing and conversational commerce within your messaging app. That's exactly what WeChat is. That's what WhatsApp, you know, is planning. And so again, we have customers on Facebook Messenger where we're doing these types of experiments. So it's pretty exciting. All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much. See you guys in a little bit.